Good morning, everybody. It's Alan Lowe, and I'm here in the Flagler Voice podcast studio. And we're here with John Adams of Dick Stark Carpet Company. How you doing today, John?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me out here.
Oh, of course. A lot of people have, I do flooring as well in my other business, but I've gotten out of that. I transitioned from crawling around on my hands and knees to doing cabinet and kitchen refinishing.
Yeah,
So I don't do that stuff anymore.
that's not much easier.
No, but I can stand up. I don't have to
That's
crawl
true.
around.
That's true.
So how long have you been in the business of flooring?
I started in 1992 at a company called Absolute Hardwood Flooring in West Palm Beach. So I've been in since 92.
Are you a Floridian or did
I'm
you
a
move?
native-born Floridian. Been here my entire life.
Rare breed.
I just saw my first set of snow up in Tennessee a few years back. So took me. I'm 52 years old. It took me till I was about 48 before I was able to even see snow. So
Oh,
I'm a
wow.
Florida.
Wow. Well, I moved down here from Maine in 1983, and I've seen enough snow. I don't need to see it.
Yeah, you've had your.
I had my quota. So before we went on the air, we were discussing different types of flooring because I need some flooring out in
Yeah.
the lobby main office area. So what type of flooring do
So
you
let's-
really like?
Let's go. Well, I'm a hardwood guy. I've got 6 floors in magazines.
Mm.
So everything from the Post Cereal House. Now, not a lot of people know who Post Cereal Home was on the island of Palm Beach. It's also known as Mar-a-Lago now.
Oh,
So I did the Dole corporate office in Miami, the Kennedy compound in Fort Lauderdale, Dolly Parton's house in Naples, and Kenny Rogers' house in Naples.
wow.
And the Max Factor house not too long after the murder happened.
So you don't start at the bottom and work your way up. You
Well,
started at the top.
No, I did it. It's grunt work in the very beginning. When I started in 1992, all I was able to do was hold a sanding the cord for the sander. That was my job. So I had that job for about 6 months. I couldn't do anything else till I learned how to sand and finish a floor from the other veterans that were on the job, and it was frustrating to say the least because when you're in 1992, I was 24, 23 years old, something like that, and I want to just get in there.
Sure.
You know everything at that age.
Mhm.
At least you think you do.
Yeah, you think you do.
And then when I realized I didn't know everything, is one day I had backed myself into a closet with a bunch of glue that I was gluing the floor down, and I had no way to get it. So I had to lay planks that were in my hand just randomly to walk off the floor
To get back up.
get back out. Yeah. So it's the thing about flooring is most people pick by color. So they'll come into
Yeah.
my store in Palm Coast or Ormond Beach.
Well, you have a store in Palm. Where's it located?
It's located at 1030 Northwest Palm Coast Parkway,
Okay.
right next to the Asian Market in
Oh, yes.
that same shopping center.
To the left of the market. Right?
Correct, to
Yeah.
the left of the market, and our other one is in 570 Young Street
Young Street.
in
Yeah.
Ormond Beach.
How long has the location been in Ormond?
Oh my gosh, since 1947. That's actually a historical building. It's not considered a historical building, but it's been sitting there
been
since
there.
1947.
When I moved to Florida, I moved down to go to work for my dad, who was a builder here in Palm Coast, and quite often I remember running down there to get samples and so forth because
Yeah.
Dick Stark was one of the ones that
Probably one of the only ones at that
yeah,
time.
pretty much, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Back in 19, well, he started in he started on his own here in Florida. He was a builder up north, but he started on his own here in Florida. I think it was like 1980.
Okay.
And then I moved down in 1983, and he continued on till roughly 1995-ish. But yeah, I've been down to that store. I quite often actually down to that store back then.
Yeah, it's a great store. We've done a lot of things to up the beautification of the store itself. plus the outside of it. Curb appeal means a lot in a business.
Yeah.
It attracts your eye, and if you have a business that has weeds all over the front and trash in the ground and stuff like that, it kind of throws a homeowner off, or even a builder off, to not come into that store. Because if you treat your outside of your store the way you treat your customers, that's not good. So we pride ourselves on having the best communication towards builders and homeowners.
Right.
So we give them a knowledge not just of the product that they're buying, but the steps that it takes to keep the floor beautiful throughout the life of your home, or the life of you, or whatever comes first. And you asked earlier what my favorite floor is. Aside from hardwoods, it has to be laminates. Now let's get away from that moniker or stigma that people call laminates. Okay, I would not, as a flooring installer, install laminate at all in South Florida, because back in the day they were not waterproof. They were
Right.
composite. They got 300 square foot. You'd have to put a T molding in. It was just horrible stuff. Well, now they've come up with a waterproof laminate. Exceeds far beyond any of the vinyl planks that are out there now. Everybody loves vinyl planks because you can go over concrete, or you can go over tile, you can go over this. That's not true. I'm here to dispel all the lies that come with the people thinking they have knowledge about a vinyl plank. Well, they're not as good as a laminate, and I never thought I would say that, because when they came out, they were just waterproof. They're scratch resistant. They're life proof. That's what they tell you.
Right.
Well, now they're having a lot of claims with the locking system being coming apart during your travel of walk. So if you have a path that you walk in your home, quite often, usually it's from the front door to the kitchen.
Sure.
Okay, the kitchen, people spend, I think, 65 or 70% of their time in the kitchen area in their homes. And what happens is the tongue and groove on the seam side, which is the long side, usually starts to, after 2 or 3 years, starts to break apart. Now they're going to fix that, and they're going to get better. But at this point in time, laminate is probably the best way to go.
Right.
In my
And
opinion.
waterproof laminate.
Waterproof laminate. Now there is a difference. The waterproof laminates, their topical layer of the floor, what makes it look like a wood floor or whatever, a tile or whatever,
Sure.
it'll roll down into into where the tongue is at a little bit, and that in itself, when it locks together, makes it waterproof.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I know that we used to do. My dad. Well, this was before laminates really were. It was either hardwood or carpet back then.
Yeah.
And I know that when I saw the first hardwood floor go in down here, I was very familiar with it up north because almost all was hardwood.
Yeah.
But when I saw my first one go in down here, it was a tongue and groove, but it wasn't a locking. It was just a tongue and groove. I don't even remember what kind of hardwood it was, but
Like
they were
oak.
gluing it straight to the concrete floor.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know how long it lasted, but
It probably lasted quite a long. It's probably still there. So they have the glues that they use now have a polymer-based glue, a urethane-based glue, and they seal the slab basically. So what you're talking about is an engineered hardwood that goes down with the glue down. Okay, engineered hardwoods are different than solid hardwood. Solid hardwoods are normally nailed down on top of plywood, and that's an entire different animal.
right.
So
That's what we had up north.
yes. So the right way to install a hardwood nail down is to take black mastic, okay, from the roof, okay. If you got a concrete slab, you seal that slab with black mastic, and on top of that black mastic, you put black plastic. So that slab is sealed. Then you put your plywood, and then your 15-pound felt, and then you put your nail down hardwoods on top of that. That's the proper way to do it in all the state of Florida. State of Florida is, until you come down from, I think Jacksonville is considered below sea level.
Right.
So we are water,
So
we're tropical.
and concrete, the slab being concrete is
It-
porous. It'll suck the water up. And
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. And they used to use, when I started out, They used to use glue downs would go with you used to use mastic also to glue down a floor.
Mm,
So that would they don't do that anymore, but it's not something that's unheard of.
right.
And if you go into any of the older homes that are built in the 70s, 80s, underneath that carpet or underneath that tile is going to be a hardwood. Some people don't realize that 90% of the houses that were built in Miami have what's called Dade County pine in them. Dade County
Mm,
pine is not on a Jinka scale. And let me
mhm.
explain the Jinka scale.
Sure.
That is a scale of hardness, density of a hardwood. I think Brazilian cherry is number one, oak is number three, hickory is number five, something like that. So it
Right.
describes the density of the hardwood. Well, Dade County pine is so hard it doesn't even register on a Jinka scale because the mineral that's in it now has made that wood almost into a concrete. It's hard to
Almost
cut,
petrified it.
almost petrified. I would say, yeah, almost. And then they also have the floor that went down in Donald Trump's house or in the post serial house. Well, let's not get that's. I don't want to offend anybody out there, but it was called a black wangi, which is literally one of the hardest woods in the world. You have to cut it with a wet saw without the water.
Really?
Yeah, so that's man, it's just gorgeous. It turns colors after about a year when the sun hits it. It's just
Is
absolutely
it still
beautiful.
there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's in
Really?
his sitting room. Okay,
Mhm.
in his house. As soon as you walk into Mar-a-Lago in the area where we were at, you got a set of stairs to your left, and up to the set of stairs before you hit the third floor. On the left hand side is what's called a sitting room.
Mm.
All there's no books, there's no TV, there's no phone. It is a room to ponder in. That's
Oh,
it. That's
really?
what
Really?
it was made for. Just quiet. You know, it's where probably Mr. Trump got most of his ideas. Just sat there and pondered about
Pondered.
things.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the flooring still there
Yeah.
that you put in way
Hmm.
back then. Well, that's really cool. Having
Yeah, that was in
some.
1994.
Wow. Wow.
But it was post cereal then. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So the hardwoods are topical waterproof. You could take a bucket of water and pour it on a hardwood and let it sit there for days. Okay, it's not going to have a problem. But once it finds the edge, once it
Right.
gets behind the baseboard, any floor is going to give you a problem. So
Right.
no floors are actually waterproof. I don't care what they say.
Right.
Doesn't matter what you do to it. So I mean, aside from vinyl plank, because vinyl's vinyl. You know, you're
Right.
not you can flood it in a pool or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they make swimming pools with vinyl liners.
Yeah.
So yeah,
When I
vinyl's
was
pretty much
first
waterproof.
when I was first showed the vinyl, the luxury vinyl plank, the rep had a tub and he glued it on the side of the tub and filled it up with water, and it never gave a problem. It never gave him a problem. You know, it
Mm.
just was in that sense 100% vinyl plank is the way to go on that, but you got to understand you're going to have to change it out in 3 or 4 years.
Mm.
Laminates, you're probably not. Hardwood, you're definitely not. Hardwoods, you can sand and finish. Engineers, you can't sometimes, but you can go in call what's called a screening coat. But those are a few things that I enjoy while I've been doing this for over 30 years.
Yeah, 30 years. So on carpet now.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
you you obviously sell carpet as well, correct?
Yes, we are Carpet One. We are
Right.
Dick Start Carpet One. We do sell carpet. We have the top of the line carpet, which is, in my opinion, Karastan. We also carry Mohawk and all the other name brands that you traditionally know. But when you come into our store, you'll see an upper class of carpet.
Right.
You got mids, you got lowers, but we mostly carry an upper class. But it's also cost effective for a homeowner. You know, it's not so high because our volume that we buy is so far and far beyond what the normal company would buy because we are Dick Start Carpet One. We have a excellent rating as far as with the amount of carpet tile hardwood that we buy. We sell an MSI tile. It's kind of the same tile that Home Depot sells, and we sell more than Home Depot, more MSI
Really?
tile than Home Depot.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are in our industry that you need to look out for. If you're a homeowner and you're unsure of the contractor that you're thinking about using to build a cabinet or do your floors or any paint your house or anything like that, if you feel uneasy, go with that gut. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't use them. That's the first line of defense is your senses telling you it's not going to work out. You know what I mean?
And as a I'm not a contractor per se, but I refinish the kitchen cabinets and all of that stuff. I've been in the construction industry since I moved down with my dad in '83 here in Palm Coast, and you hear stories all the time where somebody says, "Well, we paid them up front and they disappeared."
Yeah.
Yeah, paying up front, at least paying up front all the way through is just
Well,
Just-
that's not exactly true. That's not exactly. You could pay up front all the way up through. Most of the time, if we're doing a contract for a homeowner, 75 to 80% of our cost is material and labor. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So we have to get most of it up front, and then once we get about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the job, then we'll retain the rest from the homeowner. But to say that 50% is enough, it's usually not. If 50% is enough to pay for everything that that person or contractor needs for that job, then they're inflated their prices. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You got to understand that your margins that you work with are going to be different with a company that is catered to customer service more than the product itself. That's who we are.
Yeah. Well, you've been around. How long did you say? Since 1940? 1947. So I think there's a proven track record there.
Yeah, and the thing about it is not a lot of people know where we're at. It's amazing.
Well, I know because I went down there quite often. Now the store in Palm Coast that you have, my wife frequents the Asian market,
Yeah.
and so I've seen the store. I don't know how many times I've seen the store, but I got to be honest, it never registered to me as a branch of the Dick Stark down in Ormond.
Right. So we just won the Parade of Homes for that Palm Coast store for the best flooring showroom. We won the Parade of Homes.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm super proud of that store. Courtney, my manager, has gone far above any manager to help us just keep cohesiveness as a team, and also to make this store more inviting to the customer. Now, most of our builders used the Ormond store, but it's also gone through a whole new beautification. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We take a lot of pride in that, and 100% of that is because of the manager that we have, Courtney.
Right. So I got to be honest, I haven't been in that store. I've been in the other store, like I said.
You're missing out.
I will walk into it now. When you're going into the store, are you the typical flooring store that I walk into up here? You walk in and there's the right in your face. There's carpet or tile, there's huge displays of everything.
No.
Which doesn't give you an inviting look. Is yours set up that way?
No. As soon as you walk in our store, it's wide open. So you can see the flooring on the left, see the flooring on the right, the carpets on the right, the laminates and vinyl planks and hardwoods are on the left, but it's inviting in.
Yeah.
There's not. You don't have a bunch of salesmen running up to you. We greet you at the door most of the time. You build a relationship within 5 minutes of that customer, and that bond between you and that customer becomes something serious. Right. And that's how we sell over there at Dick Star Carpet One.
Well, that's awesome. Give me the address again of the. I know next to the Asian market, but it's Taco Bell and the oil change.
Right, we're right in the middle of those.
Right in the middle between them, yeah, off Palm Coast Parkway.
Yeah, I think it's 1030 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, something like that, 1070 or 1030. I should have brought a card in.
Well, that's okay. It's the Asian market. Yeah, well, Alex. That's what I'm supposed to do. But what I think most people don't realize is when you walk into your home, they look at paint on the walls, and they say, oh, maybe I need to repaint, and they look at furniture and they think, oh, maybe I need to change out the furniture. They don't often look down at the floor, but if you have a quality floor,
You don't have to.
you don't have to, exactly. You don't have to look down because it's just. But it also makes the room. Everything you do in your room is matching to what you have on the floor.
And your highest cost in building your house or redoing your home or something like that is going to be your floor.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the one of the most important things in your home. The resale value between a hardwood and a laminate on a home, I think, is hardwood's going to give you 12 to 17% more resale value. Laminate's going to be somewhere between 8 and 12% as resale value on a home. Vinyl planks, I don't know if they give any much more value. They give a peace of mind to the customer, but as far as with value, resell and everything like that. But here's another thing that I like to tell homeowners. Um, if this is your last house, get the floor you want. Don't get the
Yeah.
floor that you think you're going to sell your house that'll be able to sell. If you want a hardwood, get a hardwood. If you want your initial put in the middle of that hardwood, we can do that. You know what I mean? I've routed out. I'll put some oak in there, and then just you want shadow palms in there, we can do that. Just make it the way you want it, so you're happy about that floor every time you step on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it should be. You should be moving in, especially if it's your last house.
Yeah.
You should be moving into it, and it should be your dream house.
Absolutely.
So why not make it your dream house?
Yeah, absolutely. I was in did a floor 30,000 square foot home.
Wow.
The second largest home on the island of Palm Beach. The last name is Kramer, Kramer. We weren't allowed to take pictures of the house or anything. When they get that rich, you're not allowed to do certain
Right.
things. It was a one bedroom.
30,000 square feet with one bedroom.
One bedroom. This house is up for sale right now. I think 48 million, 38 million, something
that's
like that.
all.
Oh, yeah. No, it's cheap. It's cheap, but it was made out of all coral on the outside, cultured coral on the outside. And the reason why I'm telling you about this house is they have a fireplace in there, and the fireplace is 10 foot tall and probably 12 foot wide.
Wow.
And on each side of the fireplace, if you walk in, there's a secret door that'll take you to another part of the house. I've seen some weird things, man. I've seen some just absolutely gorgeous things that contractors out there that have the skills to do. It's amazing. And when you find the right contractor, hold on to them like it's your last glove. Just keep that guy in your pocket. Whatever you got to do, and just be part of his contract. You know what I mean? It works out better that way.
Well, I think it's important, that people understand their contractors, because not every contractor specializes in everything.
Yeah.
Like for you with your company, it's flooring.
That's it.
Nobody's going to come into you to buy a ceiling fan.
No.
But you have people that try to take on everything, and that typically doesn't really work out.
Well, fortunately, flooring meshes well with cabinets and countertops.
Well, everything matches together.
So
or you
the
try
trim
to.
carpentry side. So we sell cabinets and countertops and full kitchen remods and full bathroom remods.
So we're in competition.
That's-
Not really. I don't remodel them.
Probably
I
not.
resurface them.
but it is a good transition from flooring to cabinets and everything like that. But yeah, as far as with a contractor, few things you look at. One is your gut feeling. Two, do a little research on them. Do some background, not a background check necessarily. I've got friends of mine that have been in prison that are contractors that are the most honest, the best guys you'll ever have. So don't let something like that discard you from using that person. Go on your gut, and that's pretty much what I have to tell. In Florida, if you were to buy $5,000 worth of flooring from whomever,
Right.
fly by night or whatever it is, if he loads up and you pay him 50%, and he takes that flooring that you bought and he puts it in your house, he don't ever have to come back.
Yeah.
That's weird. In Florida, it's called a right to work state, and
Yeah.
you have you just have to be careful, man. You just really have to be careful, especially nowadays. You've got all these yahoos out there, like you were saying. We specialize in flooring. Well, I've seen roofing trucks go down, also flooring. I mean, that's not you're not a flooring. You
Top to bottom. Huh?
yeah, don't get
Yeah.
right. Don't go with a company that does everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
you want to specialize.
you want
When
somebody.
you're getting your flooring, you want to specialize in flooring. When you're
Correct.
getting your
Windows.
getting your windows, all that. We just had windows replaced. I'm not going to name the company because I would never use the company again, even though they
Oh,
were
that
highly rated.
that sucks.
My house is actually my dad built the house, so I'm kind of proud that we were able to buy it back into the family, and we live there now. But it's on the canals in Palm Coast. So when my dad built houses, you come into some of these houses that other people have built, and they don't really have windows on the backside to appreciate the water that you spent all the money for the property and the house to live on.
Yeah.
My house has 13 sliding glass doors on the water side,
There you go.
and I have
Beautiful.
13 sliding glass and 5 windows throughout the house. So
You'll never have to turn on a light during the day.
no, the
Yeah.
house is beautiful, but the doors, yeah,
They're not. They're not.
They're the hurricane with the vinyl instead of the aluminum, but the frames of the doors, the actual frame,
Yeah.
not the casing frame, but the door itself,
Right.
frame.
Swells.
Well, no, it's 4 inches thick. So on a 4-foot door, 8 inches of the door on each side and 8 inches on the top is white vinyl plastic. Which when he brought me the samples, it wasn't that way. So, and then when you try to open the doors, yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But they were highly recommended. But we were the first people in Palm Coast to use the company. They were out of Tampa.
okay.
And highly recommended over there, but I couldn't see any of their product over here.
Well, there's your fault right there. You got
Yes,
to buy
I made
local,
it-
stay local.
Exactly. I made a mistake. I'm first to admit it. I made a mistake, and it was stupid on my part, and it cost.
Yeah, it will. But the thing about contractors with that, even if they're highly recommended, look at the installer and talk to the installer before they begin,
Yeah.
and make sure they have a little bit of knowledge or the knowledge enough to do it how you want it done.
Yeah.
You might have a company that's got a 5-star rating that they send an installer out that is just having a bad month, and it happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you gotta weed that out and say, hey, this installer isn't doing what I think he should be doing. Can you bring me a superintendent out here? And that's one of the hats that I wear at Carpet One is I'm a superintendent. Now I go and look at every single job that gets installed from the beginning, middle to the end. I'm not there all day, but I go in there and make sure it's done
Right.
how I've been doing it for 31 years.
Right.
So I know what to look for, and I know what to look at, and it gives a homeowner a peace of mind when they see, the boss man go out there and
Right.
everything's good, you're good, everybody's good, just making sure. And sometimes I'll have to go back and put a threshold in because the threshold didn't come in. There's shipping problems still to this day.
But you come back and you stand behind it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, do you have your own installers, or do you have a recommendation list, or how do you go about that?
We have our own in-house installers. We have subcontractors who have their own business. We offer a lifetime installation guarantee. We offer a lifetime flooring guarantee. But you got to keep in mind those guarantees are only determined upon how you go about treating your floor. If you do it correctly, then that lifetime guarantee will be, if you have all your receipts, say if it's carpet, you got to get it cleaned once every 3 months or 6 months or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but
Sure.
in our contracts, it shows you what it is. And if you've done that, if you have a stretching problem, we'll come out there and fix, we'll restretch it for free. If you haven't done that, it's $900 to stretch a carpet. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Things are not cheap, And we pay our installers well too. We pay our installers way better than any of the other flooring companies out there.
Well, if you want loyalty and you want a good job,
That's right.
you have to take care of your people.
Yeah. And so when we see an installer that is going above and beyond what we even ask, we make sure that we compensate them for that, and that means a lot to me as an installer, as an previous installer, and it just means a lot to me for them to be able to do that.
Sure. Well, we're
Yep.
coming down at the end of the time. You got any last words you'd like to say?
Come
And
out.
maybe a phone number or how people can contact you?
Yes. My phone number is 386-569-7981. And I am at both stores, the one in Palm Coast and the one in Ormond Beach. I'll tell you what, I'm working Saturday in Ormond Beach. If anybody comes in and they buy 300 square foot or better of flooring, I'll take 50% off.
50% off.
50% off the
Wow.
cost of the floor.
Well, today is what? What's the date today? So they know what
Thursday.
Saturday you're talking about. I
Thursday.
know the day, but what's the date?
9th is, I think Saturday is the 10th.
Well, I don't know. That's terrible. I have to say, I don't know what day it is. What day is it?
Today's the
Today's
8th.
8th. So and today's Thursday, the
10th.
8th. So the 10th. You're
So I
talking
was-
July 10th.
Yep, July 10th.
No,
Come in-
August. Oh my God.
Excuse me.
August 10th.
August 10th. If you come into the Ormond store,
And ask for John.
Ask for John. I'm going to be the only one there.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you 50% off of your floor as long as you, after 300 square foot.
Sure.
After the 300 square foot. I'll
That's
give you
amazing.
50%.
What a fantastic offer.
And I hope Courtney doesn't get mad at me about that, but that's what I'm
We
doing.
won't tell her.
She knows. Well, I appreciate you having me on, Alan, and my whole family and every single friend I have will be voting for you for mayor.
Thank you.
And this is because it's important to have integrity up there, man.
Well,
it
I
means a
appreciate that.
lot to us. It really does. And I appreciate it.
that. Well, thank you very much. And so we've been speaking with John Adams from Dick Stark's Carpet One.
It's
Tongue-tied
a little,
at the end
it
here.
rolls off the tongue a little rough.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. This is the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, and we have the Business Spotlight. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, buddy.